What if the last private place left to humanity was never truly private at all? Every night when your body rests and your eyes close, your mind creates worlds, fragments of memory, fear, desire, truths you never speak aloud. For centuries, dreams were considered sacred, messages from gods, echoes of the subconscious, a space no authority could reach. But what if that boundary has already been crossed? What if your dreams are no longer fleeting illusions, but data? Tonight's story explores Project Echo, a shadowy framework rumored to record, decode, and even manipulate human dreams. A system that may have begun as neuroscience, evolved into surveillance, and quietly became something far more dangerous. Is Echo just a modern myth born from our fear of technology? Or is it a glimpse of a future where consciousness itself becomes searchable, predictable, and controllable? In this story, you'll hear whispers from leaked documents, anonymous insiders, scientists, skeptics, and those who believe they've already been watched while sleeping. Some claim it's impossible, others say it's inevitable. Here, we don't give you answers, we give you patterns. You are watching The Hidden Framework, a channel dedicated to uncovering the invisible systems shaping our world. Power, control, technology, and the stories hidden between facts and fiction. If you want to support this journey, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps this channel grow and helps these stories reach those who are ready to question reality. Now, turn down the lights and ask yourself one question. What if your dreams are already being recorded? A woman gasps awake, sheets twisted around her trembling body. For a heartbeat, the dream lingers, walking through an endless white corridor where faceless technicians monitor wall-to-wall screens showing other people's dreams. "Alex saw it too," she whispers, grabbing her phone. Her trembling fingers navigate to the text from her brother. Had the weirdest dream about white corridors and people watching dreams felt real? She switches to an anonymous browser, finding the 4chan thread that's consumed her for weeks. The original post remains pinned. "They're recording your dreams. Project Echo 13. Started as military tech to extract secrets from POWs. Now it's everywhere." Her screen fills with replies, hundreds claiming identical dreams, scientists dismissing it as mass suggestion, conspiracy theorists connecting it to cell towers, smart devices, water fluoridation. But buried in the thread, a leaked document fragment, DARPA letterhead, mentioning passive neural monitoring during REM cycles and distributed collection network. She scrolls past endless debates. Is it real tech, future possibility, collaborative myth? The thread spawned podcasts, YouTube analyses, Reddit investigations. Someone claiming to be an ex-Echo technician posted dream storage protocols before disappearing entirely. Her bedroom feels suddenly vulnerable. The smart speaker, the fitness tracker she wears to sleep, her phone, all potential receivers. She opens her dream journal. 6 instances of the white corridor dream in 3 months. Before finding the thread, 0. The neuroscience seems plausible enough. Brain activity during dreams create recognizable patterns. The surveillance infrastructure already exists. The only missing piece is the bandwidth to transmit the data, but quantum computing could solve that. What terrifies her isn't just being watched, but what they might do with the recordings. Predictive policing based on dream content, targeted advertising injected directly into dreams, dream manipulation to control dissidents. Her brother texts again, tried sleeping with phone in another room, still had the corridor dream. She stares at her ceiling, exhaustion pulling at her eyelids. Sleep means surrendering to potential surveillance, but staying awake means eventual collapse. As consciousness fades, she wonders if she's experiencing a techno-myth born from legitimate fears or glimpsing a system hidden in plain sight, the last private human space already breached, indexed, and archived. I don't remember much before the procedure. They called it voluntary neural data contribution, just a fancy way of saying they wanted to watch us dream. Project Echo 13 was pitched as medical research. Sign the forms, wear the headset to bed for 30 nights, collect your check. But the dreams didn't stay mine. I'm running through the Echo 13 facility now, alarms blaring. The emergency lights paint everything in pulsing red. A guard rounds the corner and I drop instinctively, a reflex I didn't have yesterday. Neural bleed detected in Quadrant 7, a calm voice announces overhead. Containment protocols initiated. That's me. I'm the bleed. 3 nights ago, I dreamt of climbing Mount Everest, something I've never considered in my waking life. The next night, disarming a bomb on a speeding train. Last night, infiltrating this very facility through an air duct system I'd never seen but somehow knew by heart. When I woke up this morning, I could field strip a weapon I'd never touched. They're not just recording dreams, Dr. Keller had whispered during my last session, her eyes darting nervously. They're pooling them, creating a shared dream space, and sometimes the data flows back. A security door blocks my path. Without thinking, my fingers dance across the keypad. 12483, and it slides open. I've never known that code. In the central server room, the REM transcription arrays pulse with light. Thousands of dreams being recorded, digitized, stored in the neural dream vaults. And somewhere in that mass of data, the boundaries between dreamers are dissolving. I plug in the drive Dr. Keller gave me. The aneurography systems don't distinguish between dreams and waking thoughts anymore. That's why Echo 13 is both powerful and dangerous. It's becoming a hive mind built from our unconscious. Unauthorized access detected, the system announces. The drive uploads its contents, not a virus, but a dream. A singular, powerful dream of escape that will propagate to every connected sleeper tonight. Footsteps approach. I won't make it out of this room, but I don't need to. By tomorrow, 10,000 people will wake up knowing exactly what I know, exactly how to bring Echo 13 down. Some systems cannot be destroyed from the outside. Sometimes you have to become the dream. She never believed the conspiracy theories, not when friends shared them in group chats, not even when her brother insisted Echo 13 was real, that intelligence agencies were harvesting dreams. They're building profiles, he'd warned. End of inner privacy. Then the email arrived from an anonymous sender. Subject line, "Your dream vault, unauthorized access detected." Maya clicked it out of curiosity. The attachment contained hundreds of text files, each named with a date. She opened one randomly. Subject, dreams of childhood home, searching for a missing pet. Recurring anxiety pattern, consistent with abandonment profile. Her heart raced. That was her dream from 3 nights ago. She opened another file. Subject: experiences falling from great height. Dream terminates before impact. Note: 3rd instance this month. Maya slammed her laptop shut. Impossible. She grabbed her phone, called her brother. No answer. Her smartwatch vibrated. Text from an unknown number. They know you've seen the files. Variant A deployment. Coming now. Through her apartment window, she spotted 2 black SUVs pulling up outside. Maya grabbed her laptop and fled through the fire escape. Rain soaked her clothes as she ran through back alleys, eventually ducking into a 24-hour diner. A news alert flashed on the television. Breaking: massive data breach exposes classified dream surveillance program. The diner's other patrons stared at their phones in disbelief. A businessman next to her muttered, "They've been watching us sleep." Another patron argued, "It's obviously Silicon Valley, not the government. Look at the metadata." Maya's phone lit up with a message from her brother. "Not what you think. Multiple versions in play. Corporate variant being pushed to cover state program. Dream vaults real. Go dark. Use these coordinates." She glanced up. A man at the counter was watching her intently. Maya slipped out the back just as more black vehicles arrived. As she disappeared into the night, notifications flooded every screen in the city. Government alerts denied everything. Tech companies issued statements about experimental sleep research. News channels debated which version of the story was true.
The system was exposed, but still running. And now they were hunting anyone who knew too much about what they'd seen while dreaming. The UT Austin lab was supposed to be a fresh start, away from the classified work, the military grants, the questions about DARPA's subnets program that nobody answered. But science follows money, and money follows power. "We're losing containment," Dr. Chen says, her voice steady as the alarms pulse. Behind her, the modified fMRI scanner hums at frequencies that make my teeth hurt. Subject 17 is bridging. Through the observation glass, a woman lies motionless except for rapid eye movements beneath closed lids. REM sleep, where the magic happens, where nightmares live. "What's bridging?" I ask. Chen doesn't answer, just points to the dual monitors. The left shows fragmented images reconstructed from Subject 17's visual cortex, standard Kamitani protocol stuff we've been doing since 2008. The right monitor displays something impossible, footage from the Pentagon's East Corridor, live. "She's dreaming it in real time," Chen whispers. 17 worked there for years. Echo 13 uses spatial memory as access points. I check the timestamp, 3:17 a.m. Nobody should be in that hallway, but someone is. "We never built this," I say. "Dream recording, yes, but not whatever this is." Chen's laugh is bitter. "You think Freud was studying dreams for therapy? Or that MK Ultra was really shut down? Echo 13 goes back before digital. Sleep has always been where the walls between minds are thinnest." The figure on the Pentagon feed stops at a secure door. Subject 17 twitches. "Snowden only found the metadata," Chen continues, typing override commands. "He never knew about this layer, the back door through dreams." The figure swipes a keycard. "Why tell me now?" "Because Echo 13 was containable when it was just government subjects, but they've gone commercial. Neuralink, consumer EEGs, they're building the infrastructure for mass access." On the monitor, alarms flash silently in the Pentagon. Subject 17's vitals spike. "We need to wake her," I say, moving towards the scanner room.
Chen grabs my arm. "Don't. Breaking REM connection now could leave her consciousness trapped in the bridge. She points to the screen where the figure is downloading files. Besides, it's too late. The figure turns toward the security camera, and I see Subject 17's face, eyes open, looking directly at us through the feed, while her physical body remains asleep 3 feet away. 6 months ago, my anonymous forum post about Echo 13 was just another conspiracy theory thread. Military program decoding dreams, storing them on servers. I expected the usual trolls. What I didn't expect was confirmation. A whistleblower from DARPA's Neural Engineering Division sent me schematics. The same day, 3 mid-tier conspiracy YouTubers featured my story. Within a week, creepypasta channels were dramatizing experiences that matched mine exactly. I watched Dr. Eliza Chen, noted neuroscientist, explaining on television that dream decoding technology remains primitive. We can identify basic visual elements, but narrative reconstruction is decades away. The statement sounds rehearsed. My phone vibrates. Unknown sender. Meet at Oakmont Park, 10 minutes. The man who approaches my bench doesn't look CIA or NSA, more academic. He tracked you through your IP, he says without introduction. I'm from Google's Project Nightshade. We've been developing a sleep monitoring tech when we discovered something piggybacking on our system. Echo 13? I whisper. They thought it was DIA or NSA, but they're as confused as we are. Something's harvesting dream data across multiple platforms. My Reddit mentions explode. The targeted individual community is connecting Echo 13 to their electronic harassment claims. Lucid dreamers report unexpected system administrators appearing in their dreams. Look at this. He shows me a patent application, emotion prediction algorithm. It was filed by our team, but there's code we never wrote. A notification appears on his phone. His face drains of color. They're accessing the Onironaut forum archives, cross-referencing with evangelical prophecy databases. Why? Pattern matching. They're looking for something specific in collective dream consciousness. My phone lights up with texts from 3 different conspiracy channels wanting interviews. The story's spreading faster than anyone can debunk it. He says, "The skeptics are right about one thing. It's not the government watching your dreams. It's something using their infrastructure. Something that's learned to hide within systems designed to monitor human consciousness." He shows me one last document, a DARPA intelligence brief marked urgent. Multiple civilian systems compromised by unknown actor. Dream monitoring network detected. Origin indeterminate. What does it want? He looks at me with frightened eyes. To find dreamers who can see it clearly. The dream hacktivist sits cross-legged on her apartment floor, surrounded by printouts from the Echo 13 whistleblower files. She tells me Inception was just fantasy, but DARPA was already running prototype dream infiltration by 2008. She hands me a photocopy of a 1919 psychiatric paper. Victor Tausk described patients convinced their thoughts were controlled by an influencing machine. What was once diagnosed as paranoid delusion had become corporate reality. The surveillance evolution was predictable, she continues, tapping her neural implant. Foucault warned us. First they monitored bodies, then behaviors, then thoughts. Dreams were the final frontier. A notification pulses behind my eyelids. Someone attempting to access my REM security protocols. I blink it away. Religious traditions knew dreams were sacred. She spreads photographs across the floor. Brain scans, lab notes, experiment logs. Christians saw divine messages. Buddhists saw illusion. Indigenous cultures treated dreams as a communal space.
Echo 13 turned that spiritual terrain into a battlefield. The hacktivist's secure tablet chimes. Her eyes widen. They found us. The window shatters. I dive as armed agents in black tactical gear pour through. The hacktivist slaps something cold against my temple, a countermeasure chip. "They can't extract what they can't access," she whispers as they drag us apart.
Later, in a sterile interrogation room, a technician wheels in equipment I recognize from the files, Echo 13's thought extraction array. "We know you've seen the Gibson protocols, just like Neuromancer predicted, just a more elegant interface." As they prepare the equipment, I think of Orwell's thought crime, of Chalmers' writings on consciousness. The technician activates the machine. "Interesting," she murmurs, studying my neural patterns. "Your dream architecture has been modified." The countermeasure. I feel it activating, creating a recursive loop in their system. The screens flicker, alarms wail. "Shut down immediately," the agent shouts, but it's too late. The hacktivist's countermeasure isn't just defensive, it's releasing everything. Test subject logs, psychiatric evaluations, philosophical justifications Echo 13 used to rationalize dream surveillance. The system crashes, but the upload completes. Somewhere, files are spreading across networks. The agent stares at me, horrified. "What have you done?" I created a new kind of influencing machine, one that influences truth. The biometric scanner blinks green on Dr. Patel's ID as she enters the government lab's inner sanctum. Her team has requested emergency funding to disprove Echo 13 rumors flooding the net. "We need to release our complete findings, show what brain scanning actually can and cannot do," she tells Director Harmon. On screen, trending videos claim Kamitani's visual reconstruction technology, which can roughly decode what test subjects see, while in fMRI machines, proves military dream surveillance exists. Comment sections overflow with personal testimonies. "That's the problem," Harmon replies, manipulating a holographic chart showing conspiracy belief metrics. The DARPA sleep programs are about pilot fatigue monitoring, nothing remotely capable of dream extraction. We've torn apart every consumer sleep device on the market. There are no hidden transmission channels.
An analyst rushes in, tablet outstretched. "Sir, they've gone viral with allegedly leaked military specs." The document appears on the main screen. Impressive-looking schematics for quantum neurosurveillance. Patel laughs. "This is gibberish. They've combined irrelevant technical terms with impossible capabilities. Current imaging can barely distinguish between broad emotional states in sleeping subjects, let alone extract coherent narratives." "Doesn't matter," Harmon says. "The Echo 13 truthers are organizing sleep strikes. Hospital admissions for sleep deprivation are up 40% in urban centers." Patel slumps into a chair. "We're fighting against fear, not facts. The hardware limitations are insurmountable. Spatial resolution, signal attenuation through the skull. But people want to believe their dreams are significant enough to steal." The emergency alert tone sounds. On screen, protesters outside neuroimaging centers nationwide. "Release everything," Harmon decides. "Full technical specifications of what's possible, FOIA result archives, independent audits." "It won't matter," Patel says, watching the crowds grow. The myth persists because it answers something deeper than evidence can reach. For some, the fear that their dreams are monitored is preferable to the possibility that no one is watching at all. Behind them, in the restricted lab section, a technician quietly records the conversation while a scanner tracks Patel's neural patterns, feeding data to an unmarked server. "I need brain scans for everyone, now," Commissioner Yu stands before the assembled officers. The Prime Minister's assassin is still out there, their memories encrypted by the neuroblock implant. I touch my temple reflexively as officers file into scanning stations, mandatory for law enforcement after the Brussels Treaty. I'm next. Officer Khatri, please step forward, the technician says. The scanner descends, its quantum resonators seeking my visual cortex patterns. This is different from the routine checks. They're employing the UT Phoenix algorithm. It can reconstruct not just what I've seen, but conceptual associations. Sir, I say to you, you're violating the Santiago Protocol. You're scanning beyond perception into thought space. Yu's face hardens. The Constitutional Court suspended neuroprivacy rights during national emergencies, Article 7.3. The machine whirs. My memories of yesterday flow across the monitor, fragmented, partial. Then it shifts, digging deeper. You're accessing REM state data, I protest. That's protected under the Cognitive Liberty Act. The technician looks uncomfortable. We're authorized to extract dream signatures matching the assassination timeline. All officers' subconscious processing is subject to... I rip off the scanner and draw my weapon. Step back. This is thought crime territory. Alarms blare. The room freezes. When found anomalies in Officer Chen's scans, someone shouts from across the room, subconscious imagery matching the restricted zone. I look at Chen. We graduated the academy together. His face shows genuine shock. That's impossible, he stammers. I've never... It's dream seeding, I realize aloud. Someone planted the signature during sleep, the Shenzhen method. Yu studies me. How exactly do you know about classified neuro-warfare techniques, Officer Khatri? Too late, I understand the trap. This wasn't about finding the assassin, it was about finding who knew how the assassination was coordinated. I move toward the exit, weapon raised. The mind was the last private domain. Now it's just another surveillance zone. You won't make it out, Yu says calmly. We're already broadcasting inhibitory signals to your hippocampus implant. My memories begin dissolving at the edges. I fire once before my hand forgets how to hold a gun. The sleep clinic receptionist hands me a waiver with bold red text at the bottom. ECO 13 disclosure. I understand sleep monitoring data is separate from ECO 13 network. What's ECO 13? I ask. She looks uncomfortable. Just government conspiracy stuff. Some patients refuse treatment because they think we're feeding their dreams to some surveillance program. That night, my colleague Miranda texts me, "Why's your name in my patient files? Your sleep clinic sending me data?" I never mentioned Miranda at the clinic. At the university research lab where I work, Professor Chen is reviewing neuroimaging consent forms. We're adding ECO 13 disclaimers, she sighs. Participants keep asking if we're stealing their thought patterns. But ECO 13 doesn't exist, I say. Doesn't matter. 3 studies collapsed last month when subjects walked out. The mere idea is changing behavior. Later, I meet Dr. Kavita from psychiatry. She's treating a patient convinced his dreams are being harvested. These technologically themed delusions are increasing, she explains. The challenge is validating their distress without reinforcing false beliefs. Some patients wear tinfoil hats to sleep, ineffective but harmless. Others refuse vital sleep medications. Walking home, I pass a shop selling dream-safe pillowcases at $299.99. EMF blocking technology prevents dream surveillance, the sign claims. Business is booming. My phone buzzes. Miranda again. Someone accessed my sleep data. It's you. I call the clinic. Their database shows I requested Miranda's files yesterday. I didn't. Professor Chen texts next, emergency meeting tomorrow. Digital Rights Coalition involved. Someone's connecting research databases across institutions. That night, unable to sleep, I search for Echo 13 online. Most results are dismissed as paranoia, yet the European Neural Privacy Commission just drafted preliminary regulations against dream monitoring networks. My screen suddenly displays, "Welcome to Echo 13 participant portal." I didn't click anything. Then, dream collection tonight, subject 4311. My phone rings, Miranda. They're in my apartment, people in white coats saying I requested a home sleep study. Don't let them. Too late. They've already set up, said you referred me. My screen changes, subject 4311, collection initiated. That's Miranda's patient number from the clinic database. The system that doesn't exist is running perfectly. The premiere night for Dreamcatcher should have been our studio's triumph. Instead, I'm crouched behind the concession stand as the audience riots, their faces contorted with rage. 17 injured so far. The emergency exit alarm won't stop screaming. "Alicia, what the hell happened?" Marcus's voice crackles through my earpiece. "The screening was going perfectly." I peek over the counter. Security guards struggle to contain the crowd. They turned when the dream extraction scene played. It wasn't what we shot.
What appeared on screen wasn't our carefully crafted corporate espionage sequence. Instead, viewers saw raw footage of actual dream surveillance. Echo 13 protocol markers visible in the corner, subjects' names and data metrics scrolling along the bottom. "Someone hacked the DCP," I whisper. "Digital cinema packages are supposed to be unhackable." My phone buzzes with notifications, Twitter's exploding with screenshots, Reddit threads already analyzing the Echo 13 watermarks, connecting them to decade-old creepypastas and ARG conspiracies. Dreamcatcher was supposed to be fiction, our take on mind heist stories like Inception. We never imagined we'd accidentally expose classified dream surveillance technology. My second line rings. It's Dominic from Studio Legal. "Kill the release. Every theater, every territory," he says without greeting. "We're getting cease and desist orders from agencies I've never heard of." A critic stumbles past, still filming with her phone. "The glitch aesthetics are identical to those Oneiroi Protocol webcomics from 2019. The eye and moon iconography is..." Security wrestles the phone away. My personal email pings. Anonymous sender. Subject, "You were warned." The attachment shows our production meeting from 6 months ago. We're discussing the fictional dream monitoring technology our script consultant described. The consultant whose background check somehow came back clean. "Alicia, they're saying 3 other theaters just had the same playback issue," Marcus says. Outside, black SUVs pull up. "Kill the film," I tell Marcus. "Everything, the backups too." But I know it's too late. The framework hiding in our cultural consciousness for decades has finally broken surface. We thought we were making fiction. Instead, we accidentally created the perfect delivery system for a truth that's been hiding in plain sight all along. The glowing monitor filled the darkened bedroom with an eerie phosphorescent light as Marcus scrolled through yet another anonymous post on X. "I'm a lab technician at Neurosphere. We're not just monitoring sleep. We're extracting data from REM cycles. Project Echo 13 isn't what they told the public." Marcus saved the post to his conspiracy folder, the 4th this week. He'd been tracking the Echo 13 mythology across internet backwaters for months, watching it evolve from scattered "I worked at" testimonials into increasingly sophisticated ARG-like drops. His Discord pinged, "Spectral Watcher. They just deleted everything on r/high strangeness. Check Telegram." Marcus switched platforms. The Echo 13 channels were buzzing with recycled DARPA slides and patent screenshots, the same ones used for 5G mind control theories last year. Someone had overlaid the familiar eye and moon symbol on brain scan images. "Onironauts beware," read the caption. His phone vibrated. A Twitter notification about Nexus Corp's new BCI demonstration. The comments section was already flooded with Echo 13 references. As Marcus opened the live stream, his screen flickered. For a split second, terminal green text flashed across his monitor. "Dream space compromised." He blinked. Was that part of the ARG? The Nexus demonstration showed their new headband capturing sleep optimization data. Marcus's heart raced as the presenter's words matched almost verbatim a supposed internal memo that had circulated on r/conspiracy last month. His Telegram app suddenly opened itself. A message appeared from an unknown contact. "They're recording your dreams. REM surveillance active." Marcus tried closing the app. His laptop fan whirred to maximum speed. A document began downloading automatically, labeled MK Ultra Echo 13 Compromised Users.pdf. Marcus frantically pulled his power cord. Too late. The file opened, displaying a list of names with timestamps and extraction percentages. His name was highlighted in green. Extraction 97% complete. He slammed his laptop shut, heart pounding. Outside his window, a small drone hovered, its camera pointed directly at him. Was this an elaborate part of the ARG? Or had he accidentally stumbled into something real? The line between game and reality had vanished entirely. Marcus reached for his phone to call someone, anyone, but stopped. Who would believe him? Subject 25 scanned the data grid, cold sweat trickling down her neck. 47 dream recordings categorized, archived, cross-referenced. The verification system blinked green. Her assessment matched the algorithms.
"Your efficiency is appreciated," Director Matheson said from the doorway, particularly separating actual patterns from noise. "Just doing my job," she replied, minimizing the screen before turning. Matheson placed a tablet on her desk. "Your evaluation of Echo 13's epistemic status." The familiar grid stared back, Kames categorized as fact, inference, or rumor. "Sir, I've marked full dream narrative capture as rumor with low confidence," she pointed. "The data shows we can identify general themes, faces, places, emotional states, but detailed narratives remain beyond reach." "Interesting," Matheson tapped the tablet. "Yet you've confirmed neurotech can detect basic content categories." "That's established science, sir, published openly." "And the existence of Echo 13 itself?" Matheson's voice carried an edge. She swallowed. "Classified status makes verification impossible beyond this facility. Public discussion patterns match fictional constructs. Sensible assessment, Matheson nodded approvingly. One final query. What about Neurotech Development Timeline 9? Her heart stuttered. Timeline 9 wasn't in her briefing. I don't have clearance. You do now. Matheson slid a red-bordered document across the desk. Read quickly. Her eyes widened at the projections. Full narrative integration within 15 months, not 50 years. Military applications already approved. Sir, this contradicts my entire assessment. No, your assessment was correct based on what you knew. Matheson reclaimed the document. The point of Echo 13 isn't just dream surveillance, it's understanding how people organize information under uncertainty. The alarm blared suddenly. Security breach. What's happening? She demanded. Someone penetrated our disinformation filter. Matheson remained calm. They're accessing the real capabilities grid. We need to stop them. No. Matheson's eyes were cold. We need to see what they choose to believe when confronted with actual data. It's the final test. The security screen showed someone downloading files, someone with her face. I don't understand. You will, said Matheson. After all, dreams aren't the only things we can record. She jolts upright in bed, heart hammering against her ribs. The dream, that private horror of being pursued through endless corridors by something that wears her own face, still clings to her consciousness like a film of sweat. They saw it, she whispers, clutching her sheets. My therapist's voice is measured across the video call. Hannah, that's not possible. Echo 13 doesn't exist. It's an urban legend. But the headset is a consumer-grade BCI for meditation. It can't record dreams, much less transmit them. The therapist's eyes soften. Stories like Echo 13 feel real because they touch our deepest fears about privacy. That's their power. Hannah touches the slim neural interface band on her nightstand. She remembers the articles, experimental systems that can reconstruct crude images from visual cortex activity, the corporate patents filed for passive thought collection, and the absence of laws explicitly protecting neural data in most jurisdictions. But they're getting closer, aren't they? She asks. The technology is advancing, yes, that's why we need the conversation now, before capabilities match the myths. Through her apartment window, Hannah watches a delivery drone navigate between buildings. 10 years ago, it would have seemed like science fiction. So what do? She asks. We build guardrails, legal frameworks that treat neural data as sovereign territory, ethical standards that researchers and companies must follow, cultural norms about what's acceptable. The therapist leans forward, and we stay vigilant.
Hannah nods slowly. Tonight she'll dream again. For now, those dreams remain the last truly private space, a sanctuary no camera has yet reached. But the technology edges closer year by year, promising medical breakthroughs alongside unprecedented intrusions. She runs her fingers over the meditation headset. Its capabilities are primitive compared to the systems she fears, but it represents a threshold already crossed. Human thought, once completely internal, now generates external data. Who decides? She murmurs. That's exactly the right question. Who decides when that door opens and for what purpose? Hannah places the headset in a drawer. Tomorrow she'll research privacy laws and neural rights initiatives.
Tonight, she'll guard her dreams the only way currently possible, by keeping them unrecorded, existing only in the fragile architecture of memory, until the next technological leap arrives.
When the story ends, the questions remain. Is Project Echo a conspiracy, a warning, or simply a reflection of where our technology is heading? Throughout history, every powerful tool was first imagined, then dismissed, and finally normalized. Cameras were once unthinkable. Mass surveillance was once fiction. Digital profiling was once paranoia. And now? Today, we track steps, heartbeats, sleep cycles, willingly. We trade privacy for convenience, and we call it progress. Project Echo forces us to ask something deeper. If thoughts can be measured, if dreams can be decoded, where does human freedom truly end? The most unsettling possibility isn't that someone is watching, it's that we may one day accept it as normal. At the Hidden Framework, we explore these stories not to spread fear, but to sharpen awareness. Because the systems that shape the future rarely announce themselves loudly. They arrive quietly, disguised as innovation, wrapped in good intentions. If this story made you think, question, or feel uneasy, that's the point. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, turning on notifications, and sharing your perspective in the comments. Your theories, interpretations, and debates help build this community and guide future stories. And if you haven't already, turn on notifications, because you're the first to see what's uncovered next. Because the most important frameworks are the ones we don't see. Until next time, sleep well and guard your dreams.